social media is basically people's highlights.
Yeah.
The highlights of their lives. Nobody's going to post when they're having a bad time. Nobody's going to post when they're crying. Nobody's going to post when they've lost something or when they have misbehaved. Do you get? So you using social media to judge yourself, for me, is crazy. I'm somebody that, I remember when I started using Facebook. I used to be very active on Facebook. And after a while, I stopped. And people thought maybe there was a problem. And my friends would be like, what's up? We've not seen you active on Facebook. That was when I was in uni. And I'm like, nothing. And I'm very grateful for that time because I realized that I unconsciously weaned myself off of social media. Do you get? So the time that I have to be on social media, because then again, you don't have what you do, you're a student and all that stuff. But I unconsciously weaned myself off of that, and I realized that it helped me because I'm also somebody, I really don't care about social media validation. I could post something and I'll have one like, and I don't care. But I know that there are people that if they post something and they have one like, they will delete that post and repost it again. Or I've even seen people who get mad at their friends and family for not liking their posts. For real. There are people like that.
Yeah.
It goes something, I'm like, I made something. Why didn't you? I posted something. Why didn't you like it?
I don't like that type of me. I will, till the day I freaking fall down, I will only like content I like. If you be my whatever, I'm only liking the content if I genuinely like what you're doing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Headlines podcast. And today I have a guest with me, but before I let her introduce herself, so today we're going to be talking about self-doubt and imposter syndrome. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Mahita Bell, and I'm a co-host on Truth in Bikinis, and I'm really happy to be here.
So first off, I know a lot of people. Okay, let's start with self-doubt.
Okay.
Sometimes a lot of young people, doubt themselves, which also leads to, low self-esteem and, imposter syndrome. And, with the whole social media era, these things are heightened. I know that as a young person who is working, you may have sometimes, or as a student as well, you may have sometimes, encountered situations where you felt or you had the imposter syndrome or you experienced self-doubt or low self-esteem sometimes, So I'd like you to share with us, when was the first time you ever, doubted yourself or realized that, oh, I'm me, or I'm experiencing low self-esteem?
Okay, so growing up, I was a very, very confident kid. I was known as the shameless girl. Shame could not catch me. I wasn't scared of anything. I wasn't shy. I used to perform on stages, give speeches, anything, debate, anything public speaking.
Yeah.
I'm your girl. That's me. And that was me for a majority of secondary school. But at some point, when I realized that a lot of people actually really didn't like me, I was very delusional.
Why?
I was very annoying. I wouldn't be friends with the person I was back then. There's one else. I was so annoying. I was so irritating. And I was brat. I wasn't a brat. I was a brat, yes. But I was also I was so bubbly in an unaware way.
Okay.
So it's everybody can be serious right now. I'm trying to be somber. They're that was the vibe I gave. I couldn't read the room. I was very bad with social cues for a very long time. So I just didn't know how to act in situations. I've never really known how to interact with everyday normal human beings. I've never known how to interact with people.
Okay.
So because of me not knowing how to interact with people properly, it led to people not liking it because I couldn't pick up on social cues. I didn't know how to behave in certain contexts. So it will annoy people, obviously. It would annoy me currently. So when I realized that, people really don't with me like that, that's when I now started to withdraw. And now I used to irritate myself. I didn't like that nobody can stand to even be around me. Nobody can even stand to, because human beings are social creatures.
Yeah.
We do at the end of the day, to an extent. need some sort of validation, care, and love.
Not necessarily validation.
I would say validation is important, not in the sense that you depend on it.
Okay.
But it should be there to an extent. There has to be some sort of support, some sort of love. Somebody has to, at least, so that you're just comfortable. You're just, even if the entire world hates me, I know that there's someone that cares for me deeper than, maybe my parents or something. Just not deeper than my parents, but like other than my parents. So when I changed secondary schools, this new school I went to, the old school, people didn't like me, but they weren't very open about it. They weren't aggressive about it.
Okay.
This new school, like, they made it very clear to me. Oh, you're so lazy. This is how you walk. This is what you look like. We walk like as if this and that. You're this and that. Why are you talking to boys? In this school, girls only talk to each other. Girls don't talk to boys. I was so overly criticized about almost everything I did. And then on top of that, nobody wanted to even be friends with me at all. Like,
wow,
nobody was even really wanting to talk to me. And there's this one girl, she was like a queen bee. I said to a movie. This girl had literal control over almost anything. If she says nobody should talk to me, Isabel, I was in hostel. Nobody in hostel will talk to me. Seniors, juniors, classmates, they'll stay away.
Was she a senior student?
She was literally my classmate.
So why should the senior students listen to her?
Man, people used to say, I had a theory that maybe she was doing witchcraft. It didn't make any sense. I didn't get the school system. That particular school, so many issues. People didn't respect boundaries. People were mean.
Okay.
There was so much bullying. Students could beat. Like, it was a whole jungle. So I think from that point on, that's when I first let self-doubt come in. And as I got older, I just started to doubt more things, like my appearance. I didn't like my voice. I didn't like my arms. The moment I just let it come in, I just gave room for me to dislike so many things about myself and doubt so many other things about myself.
Okay, let's take it back a bit. So at what point, when was the first time somebody ever said something to you about, say, your hand or about yourself that made you, like you said, you were very bubbly. So when was the first time that, you realize that, oh, wait, maybe these people don't like me, like, or why would somebody say that to me, or maybe I need to change?
The first time I just realized was when I went to a new school. New students, everybody wants to know who the new student is.
Yeah.
That transition from everybody kind of wanting to know who is this person to everybody actually like everybody's attitude just changing.
Yeah.
At least in my old secondary school, what I met was kind of continued because all of us were new when we started.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really any singling out of, this person. Everybody was new, so everybody was treated the same, and it was that way till I left that school. So when I went to a new school, it's like, oh, I'm the new girl in just 3.
You were somehow expecting special treatment.
Not special treatment, but out of all those people that were interested in befriending me, nobody was like left.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm a very awkward person. The interests I have are very, very different.
I think you became awkward after that situation.
I've always been awkward. I've always been awkward. But, at least with this school, it's more of a, I don't know, let's call it a village school type of this thing.
The second school was a village school.
Yes, it was a very posh school I was going to. Even if I didn't have a lot of friends, people kind of understood social cues, social boundaries.
Yeah.
Nobody's actively trying to be mean or bully you.
And you were kind of like used to how, so definitely the way you grew up at home was kind of like the way the kids in your old school behaved.
Exactly, yes.
So your new school, the kids there probably had a little bit of maybe a difference in class or background.
Yeah. That I didn't really care about that. It's just, let's say the TV shows I watched. I watched DSTV as a kid. But this new school, people were using maybe Go TV, Star Times. So even if I wanted
to NT,
and people were deeply into African magic, Bollywood, that type of a thing. I've been there people like that in my old school, but at least I could talk about the shows I watched with people there. Even if they were my close friends, there's room for even some sort of gist. Oh, I remember this episode of this show. But here, nobody, absolutely not even a single person I could even have a conversation or at the very least about a TV show, because everybody is just into African magic, those types of things. So I couldn't really relate with that. And I couldn't even force myself to be interested in it because the interest is just not there. So the inability to find something where I can link and socialize with people, and then those people kind of just, nothing in common. This guy is also awkward.
You had no common ground.
There was no common ground to anyone there. So that's why I started self-doubt. Like, am I the problem?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really thinking, oh, these people are somehow something like this. I was thinking like, oh, the problem was with me. Like, oh shit. Plus that one classmate girl that she really used to bully me a lot. She would, criticize the way I walk. She would criticize the way I walk. Like, oh, see the way you walk. Like, no life, no this thing. Can't even shake your waist more. Like,
please, what class were you in?
Just so.
Just two students' business with shaky waist.
Man, I think secondary school, it was there, but I don't really say.
It looks like you struggled in secondary school.
I struggled a lot. Like, I never, when they say, oh, those secondary school times, I missed it. They say, when you graduate, you actually miss it. And I really don't.
So, you don't have any friends from secondary school?
I do have friends from secondary school. That new school I went to, I couldn't cope. It was so bad. I was depressed. Everybody could see it. Like, that sparkle in my eyes was literally gone. I was sad, slouching. Like, everything about me was just dead. And I begged my parents, like, please just take me back to my old school. Even if I didn't really have friends, there was at least something I had. I didn't really have friends. So I begged my parents. My grandma heard my pleas. She now took me. She enrolled me back in that school. She's the one that now took that initiative. I went back, met my old classmates again. They were very welcoming, right? And then I think one or two of my classmates, I think I got friends with them. So when I graduated, I said I graduated with like one good friend in secondary school. Then I befriended some of my old classmates after graduation.
Okay.
Yeah, but I literally graduated with one friend, and that's enough for me because we were friends when I was in just 1, just 2.
So I'd like to know, how did that affect your social interactions when you got to uni?
I don't actually interact with people.
Are you serious?
It's just that bad. I'm not a social person.
So you don't have friends like in school? You don't have
classmates in school? I have 2 classmates that I'm really close to. Like, they're my friends in school. They're my classmates. They're the people I walk with when I go to school. If I'm not walking with them, maybe there are a few other people I would walk with, but those 2 are the main people. I don't go for school social events. If they are doing dinner, picnic, whether beach outing, I don't know. Because I still kind of hold on to that antisocial nature I had in secondary.
So, but I'm sure at this point you've let go of self-doubt. Because then again,
I would like to say I've let go of it, but it still lingers. And it's not like I'm actively thinking about how I doubt myself. I'm not a shy person. I'm confident, right?
Okay.
But sometimes I'm reminded of the fact that I have that part of me that's scared to approach people. Like, for example, the place I work now, I'm so uncomfortable and scared to literally enter my workplace and do what I'm supposed to do, especially when my bosses are there or my boss's friends are there. That same me that would just shut down when I see those kind of popular kids, and it comes back. Even if these people are very welcoming to me, they're very nice to me. In fact, they'll say, okay, come here. They'll greet me. They'll say, oh, how are you? Give me a side hug. So, and I'm still shutting them out because of just that fear.
But why? Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's...
You're afraid they will criticize you, or do you feel... Because then again, imposter syndrome, like you said, when it comes to work, maybe you feel that you don't deserve what you're getting. This is not real. or you're able to achieve what you're achieving because of somebody else's effort, not yours?
I feel it's because of my efforts. I know I'm capable, but there's something that's trying to tell me that you don't belong here.
Why don't you?
I can't really say why, because I wouldn't know. It's like that self-doubt thing is just a lack of confidence that keeps gnawing at you.
Well, okay. Now I think this is now turning into a mini therapy session. What is it about yourself that makes you doubt yourself? I'm curious.
Oh,
Because I'm looking at you, you're a beautiful, intelligent, smart young girl. So
I mean,
maybe another thing, because I also know that not having people, you know, consciously and consistently affirm
that
affirm, those things, tell you that you're this, you're that, you're this, you're worth it, or maybe even you affirming them to yourself can also, be the reason. But do you know that you can overcome, all that stuff without anybody?
Yeah, for sure. From between me now and me as at that time when I changed that school, I've seen an improvement. I'm not scared like that anymore. I know I'm not scared to approach a group of people and talk to them. I know the job I got, this job I'm talking about, I'm the one that pitched myself. I'm the one that walked up to the person running the place. I explained what I do. I said I'm actually very good. I dropped my project proposal, called, texted. I hustled my way into getting it, and I hustled to prove myself worthy of getting it. So I know I earned it, and I knew I could do it. But, like I said, just that extensive amount of time, me seeing myself as not worthy or not being able, still lingers. So when I say sometimes I feel like I'm not, I'm not worthy, or I feel like I'm not doing enough or something like that, I can quickly tell myself that that's not true, that I'm supposed to be here. But what I'm trying to say is that feeling is still there. It takes a lot of work to kind of make it that you currently being the boss person that you are is the one overcoming that feeling, the one on top. That is small. So I always have to constantly remind myself, like you said, affirming. I'm an affirmations girly. I'm someone that speaks positive a lot. I hate negative self-talk. I hate believing negative things. So I feel words and mindset are very powerful and very important. Because, like I said before, that time in secondary school, I used to feel I was ugly, and I used to feel I was this and that and that. And I was really those things because that's what I was telling myself.
Wait, did anybody ever call you ugly in secondary school?
Nobody called me ugly, but
So nobody feel ugly.
Nobody acknowledged me as
beautiful,
as attractive.
Okay.
Like, I went through secondary school, like I didn't date nobody or have anybody even approach me in terms of I like her, but everybody else, like all the other girls in my class, have had that point where some senior, their classmates, people approach them and say, "Oh, I really like you. You're actually really pretty." At least even that's this thing. And I also had like a best friend at the time. I was like, "Oh, I just sometimes look in the mirror and I just don't feel that pretty." And then she'd be like, "Don't worry, when you grow up, you'll be fine." She wouldn't say, "Oh, you're pretty as you are now," or something like that. She would never encourage me.
Maybe she didn't know better, so you can't blame her too. I
would say she probably did, because there's a reason why she's no longer my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So that type of a thing, there was just no encouragement like that. Or even growing up, people used to compare me to my sister a lot.
Oh, your elder sister or your
younger sister? Okay. I was chubby. I had a big stomach. She was slim. She had one touch me, but would be like, "Hi, you're so big. You eat so much. You could be small, slim like a sister can be a model. Look at you. You're so dark." Like and
sorry to cut you. Where would your parents be in all of this? Like,
I'm gonna say just one. When you're walking outside,
okay,
and then somebody will just come and be like, "How are you?" and then turn it From how I eat, I start to full on insult.
Because I know that if some parents heard that, they will not take it, lying down.
My mom is very, very like sensitive about those types of things. My mom can never tell me I'm ugly or make
Of
me
course
feel
not.
that way. Or my dad, do you guys? My parents are very, very big on making me feel gorgeous. My mom will sit down, she'll be staring at me. I'm always staring at you, I'm just admiring you, you're so pretty. So I had the encouragement from my parents, but it's like your parents are supposed to.
Of course. Okay, but you feel it's normal coming from them.
Yeah.
That's almost also like seeking external validation. Not so much that it's now negative.
Yeah.
You have at least one or two people from outside affirming you that, oh, you're beautiful.
And I've gotten to the point where I don't need people to affirm me. Because, there's this thing I say that nobody can ever convince me I'm on it. Because I post on TikTok. Some people will comment on my TikTok. I think I was doing a makeup tutorial. Someone commented that the makeup is not helping. So,
it's not helping in what sense?
To make me more attractive or something like that. Like, I still look ugly with the makeup. That type of a thing. And me, I'm like, nobody can convince me I'm ugly right now because nobody could convince me I was pretty when I thought I was ugly.
Oh, okay. So the funny thing is how these people that are talking on social media, if you even see them face to face, you're finer than them.
Nah,
and they can't even say it in front of you.
They don't post. In fact, their profile picture, they don't
Of
have.
course.
They are hidden.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a place of pain. Like, you want to make people feel
bad because you're feeling bad.
Exactly. That type of a thing. They just want to transfer it. I don't know how that helps, but
do you think social media is also a big part of it? Because then again, you look at social media and you see some of your mates look flashy and they look like, they have everything together. You're like, oh, so where am I? Have we even started? Like, I'm still here doing this and that. I'm still, they're up there.
I mean, social media does play a part, but at the same time, you really need to work on your security yourself.
Yeah.
Or how you feel about yourself. Because when I was 14 and I'll look at people's bodies on social media, people's bodies in my class, when they say late bloomer, like this even till now. In fact, the other time I was changing and I said something, I forgot to wear a bra or something like that. And then this person now made a remark like, you need bra, that type of a thing. Like, she was just trying to point out that I'm actually so flat that the bra will never be needed. But I wasn't like trying to say bra, sports bras now.
Yeah.
That type I wear because my boobs are really small. So in secondary school, that time, like, me watching videos of girls with appropriate bodies for their age is like, this is what, and there's me that's flat, straight. Like, I was stuck comparing myself as at that time. And me growing up, it's not like much has really changed in terms of like my body versus my other age mates. But what has changed is my mindset about it.
Yeah. Trust me, from another late bloomer to another late bloomer, you don't need it.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need it at all, because it reminds me of secondary school. So I remember, it's good. Very funny story. So I'm in like JS2. Should have been JS2 or JS3. I really can't remember. So I had this girl. She was actually my family friend from home. I knew her from home. Then one day we're just like, in the hostel, probably after like classes, maybe during siesta or preparing to go for prep, one of those. And I'm in my singlet and she just comes and she says something along the lines of, she said, and she watches this podcast, so she'll get used to this. So she said to me that I'm stunted. I'm like, you're stunted, like you're not even wearing bra up until this point, because at this point she was already like, she already looks like a 20-something-year-old. Anyway, she was actually older than me, but she was already like fully mature and stuff. I'm like, well, I didn't take it seriously, but it kind of stopped, like,
it does.
But growing up and not realizing that, okay, you that at that time you already had big boobs, where are your boobs now? And so me that couldn't wear bra then. So do you understand? So at the end of the day, people try to do these things to make themselves, feel better.
Yeah.
blooming late is not bad. You even figure out that the people that bloom, I think the late bloomers actually enjoy life the most.
Yeah. Because at the early bloomers, they bloom early and kind of stay that way longer. Like,
I don't know, like I feel like you bloom early, you I don't know. Would I say you get tired early? Do you understand? But then again, when you bloom too early, it's not a good thing. But when you're late, you kind of like go with the time. Like,
exactly.
do you get?
You kind of live life in the progression that you kind of get to live life. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like the most appropriate way to go through those experiences.
So don't let anybody ever. People bloom late. Then again, it brings me back to like uni now. You know, you're in the university now. There are some people that are in the university now that are like, big girls who have arrived, you know, they are doing things, it looks like they're the high achievers. After university, you realize that this would even scratch the surface. Not for everybody, some people.
Yeah.
You look back and be like, but this doesn't look so big in uni, but they were, it was just packaging, or maybe then you were not mature enough to know that certain things didn't matter at that time.
Yeah.
Do you get? So you even find out that the people that looked like they were doing so well, that look like they are doing well now, 10 years from now, you realize that it was nothing. Do you get? That even you know, now you're working, you have your side hustles, and while they are there looking like, you know, everything is already ready-made, you find out that you were doing better than them at the time you thought they were doing better than you.
Yeah. It happens. I mean, that's the same this thing I felt, because that's another thing that I think about. Like, you don't need to rush into things. You don't need to rush to grow up.
Because another thing is that when people feel like they have arrived, they don't have the urge to learn more, to improve themselves, to better their skills. They already feel like, I'm there, so, you know, I'm good. Anything I want to come to me. While you, on the other end, you're bettering yourself, you're opening up to new experiences, and you're learning, and you're connecting more, and do you understand, achieving more, to say the least. So then again, when it comes to social media, I remember a couple of weeks back, we had this whole Lamborghini situation on Instagram. Are you on Instagram? Let me see.
I'm on Instagram.
Please, who heard of the Lamborghini gist?
With Bonabu.
Yeah, and
God mercy. It's like,
and a lot of people, fine and good, the girl may have, you know, things that she's doing that everybody's not aware of. Either ways, however she could achieve or afford her Lamborghini is up to her. But then again, what got to me was the number of young people that were now comparing themselves, like, oh, why can't I get a Lamborghini? Or, oh God, please, I'm using her as a point of contact. God, when is my own Lamborghini coming? Forgetting that there are a lot of people that will live and die and never drive a Lamborghini. Do you understand? It doesn't mean that your life will not be good. And another thing is the fact that you're even seeing Lamborghini as a big deal now. 10 years from today, you'll be like, I don't need a Lamborghini. There are actually rich people that don't have Lamborghinis and all that fancy cars.
Because I feel like a person that is really interested in getting those things and having those things, it says a lot about you not being confident in yourself, that you might really want to have.
You need a Lamborghini to boost your self.
Exactly. What do you really need a Lamborghini for, outside of the fact that it's a Lamborghini? I have a Lamborghini just for that class to
show people.
Or getting a Stanley Cup, for instance, just to show that you're drinking cup of how much. Like, there's no point in it. And I feel people that buy those things, give into those trends, spend all that money, it says a lot about them on the inside. Like, they are just doing it. Because I have a very wealthy relative, right? You wouldn't know. She's comfortable in her wealth. She's comfortable in the money she makes. In fact, maybe she'll buy a designer or two, but you wouldn't know it's a designer. She's not going to go get Louis, Gucci, She'll get something very low key. You look at her and you just think, oh, a regular lady, but not knowing everything she's wearing is probably so expensive. She's buying it not because she's trying to show people that she has it. She's buying it because she simply likes it. She can afford it.
Yeah.
But she's comfortable in her world that she doesn't feel like she has to prove it
to everybody or anything. And that's the kind of life I would love to live. Like even when I become a trillionaire, a billionaire, whatever, I want to still be able to do things or go anywhere and nobody would be able to say, oh, that person is wealthy or that person is rich. You get. And I have a lot of friends, acquaintances, and a couple of people that I look up to, and that's how they behave. They are wealthy, they'll walk into this room. You could even walk them out and be like, no, get out. Yeah. Do you understand? Because then again, our society respects and worships wealth. Yeah. And that's another thing. I'm also very conscious of people who respect and worship wealth. If somebody's that kind of person, I most times don't like to be around people like that, because that means because of money or wealth, you will compromise on certain things. Yeah. Do you understand?
I knew someone that kind of was,
like worship people because they have money.
Not just worshiping, but also people that rate people's value or worth based on like
material things.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Because it's like most times a lot of people, anybody my age, most likely that has money is that their parents are rich or generational wealth or something. Or they're doing
social media.
Or they're doing something not so savory. Or maybe they're doing something. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like 18 is a legal age where you can even start receiving money. So it's like a lot of life is just getting started. Like you haven't really started life. Let me say life hasn't really started to like 25, but let's say that pre-starting, like you're 18, that's when you can first receive money. There are so many opportunities that I didn't have as a regular teenager that I'm starting to see 18, and this is my starting point. Imagine later on how it will be. Yeah. So
and now you using now to judge the future is crazy, because it could be anything.
Yeah.
And then again, another thing is that I've also seen people who were like seriously wealthy when they were young, and when they got older, because of that mindset where they refuse to improve themselves, they felt they have arrived, they sat in one place, and
they've not even done anything.
After a while, they were not as wealthy.
I don't like people like that at all.
Well, so it happens, but then again, what's like, it happens, but what should, come to somebody's mind when something like that happens is that you should improve yourself. Do you get? You can't just, I know a lot of people live in their old glory. Oh, we used to have money. So because we used to have money, I cannot go out and hustle. I cannot be seen doing certain things. But come on, hey, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Apart from even, do you understand? Like, excuse me, if you don't go out to work, how would you make the money? Do you get? So if you don't, so as a young person, I don't think you should, material things will come and go. That's it. Then one of my aunties, she said to me, she said that she can never quarrel with anybody because of money, because money will come and go. So I think another thing that can cause low self-esteem is, and probably imposter syndrome, is social expectations.
Yeah, I think so too, in the sense that, let's say society expects you to be a certain way.
Sorry.
Then you not feel self-doubt for not. For example, now, I've always been somebody that kind of has never really fully been able to be organized. And as a girl, I'm expected to literally be organized. Society expects that from me. It's boys that are meant to be messy, or no stuff, that girls are supposed to have everything together. So me, I'd internalize that. I'd also doubt myself, because why can't you get your shit together? And it's something I've always actively tried to change. It's not like I just stay and I'm not trying, or I'm not making that effort to always remember things, always know how to. I'm trying. I do lists. I have to do lists. I have joters. I have things like that, but they haven't really helped me like that. So, it kind of made me doubt myself, in the sense of adding today, I'm not normal.
No, the truth is,
me.
now another thing is this, because I can relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
The thing is, as you grow older, you begin to, you mature and you begin to, drop off some, would I say, you begin to naturally drop off things that are not serving you well.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if you're messy now, they say you're messy. When you get older, you understand that being messy at some point of your life is not going to be acceptable.
Yeah, of course.
Do you understand? And you will
now that.
Do you understand? Get better.
Yeah, I
or
don't
do better.
understand now that like it's not something I've never seen it as something that's good per se. But I've seen that's the thing. I've seen the improvements.
But have you heard they said messy people are the most creative people? Have you ever heard
Yes,
that?
I've heard that before. It's like, let's say 3 years ago, right? I just couldn't even have my shit together at all. I just didn't even know how to. Then compared to now, where I'm slowly improving, they are not going to be able to see me in the mess that I was back then.
Of course.
So like
it's
you
going to
said,
get better all the time.
like you said, it's gradually getting better. But my problem is that I'm not getting better at the pace other people my age have been doing it. So it's like people looking at me like, are you slow or something?
No, the thing is that then again, it's people.
Yeah,
You get?
exactly.
People will always be people. Do you understand? The only thing is that everybody, a smart person, by the way, would know that, okay, this is just a phase of life. She'll get out of it. You're still a teenager. Come on, how old are you? Do you get? Even people in their 20s still have not figured it out. What am I even saying 20s? There are people in their 30s, 40s that have still not figured out certain things. So to each their own, do you get? When you hit that, spot or that time where, change needs to happen, it will happen. No pressure. Do you get? Don't let anybody pressure you into who you are not or who you are. But then again, there can be good pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes, yes, there can be good pressure because when it comes, like somebody like me, like I said, I can relate. I have friends that when I start doing certain things, they're like, please, no, we're not going to take this your nonsense. Do you get? And they're not saying it in a bad way. They are saying it in a get your shit together kind of way because you're going off. Do you get? Because regardless of anything as human beings, we still need people that will tell us the truth. Do you understand? We still need people that will tell us, oh, this thing that you're doing is good.
Human beings were not even created for isolation.
No, we're not.
Even biblically, like the whole Eve was created for companionship, for them to have each other. You understand? Human beings were never made to be alone. We always need some sort of support group. So that's why it's always very important to like note like who you are, who you hang out with. Your friends will tell you who you are. So even if you don't know, if you're around people that don't motivate you, don't push you, don't encourage you, you understand, and don't call you out for your bullshit,
then you have no reason being around them.
Exactly. If you have people like that, that's who you're going to be, right? But if you want a good life, also hang around good people. If you even want a life where you're no longer self-doubting yourself, be with people that enable that quality too. It's a good addition. It's a good addition. It's like a must, in fact, because it's better that you don't have anybody than have the wrong people for yourself.
True. A couple of times I've had, situations where I doubted myself and the people around me will be like, oh, but you're good at this thing, but you can't do it so well. You even do it so effortlessly, without even knowing it. So why do you think you have a problem? Doing it. I don't know if you understand. So most times you're so good, but the problem is that you're doubting yourself. Then now you doubt yourself, then you begin to hold yourself back from the things that you love doing. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you're making so much sense.
So, for example, if maybe I'm somebody that loves to say swim, but okay, I'm swimming, then at some point I realize I'm beginning to doubt myself. Maybe I'm not that much of a good swimmer. Maybe I'm not. Meanwhile, I'm actually perfect. I know nobody's perfect, but at least near perfect. And now you begin to doubt yourself. Then you now stop going out to swim. You stop, hanging out with, your friends that love to swim just because you're doubting yourself. Do you get? or maybe because an accident happened, because sometimes trauma is also the reason where people begin to doubt themselves. So then again, if you're somebody that has self-doubt, just keep at it. Do what you love. Don't stop. Do what you love, just like you now. Your whole social media thing, regardless of what somebody will say, the makeup is not helping. The person does not even know how to create content.
Yeah.
The person doesn't even know how to even apply makeup to the level that you know how to. Do you get? So because we learn every day, okay, fine and good. Maybe the makeup is not good today. You're not a pro.
Yeah.
But by the time you keep at it, in the next 5, 4, even 6 to 10 years, you're perfect. You're even better than most of your age grade when it comes to makeup. So that's another thing. A lot of people, then another thing you need to get encouragement from, you need to find your support group.
Yeah.
In as much as I believe that external, I'm somebody that I can validate myself personally. Maybe I think that's because I've matured to that level that I don't need external validation. I can affirm and validate myself, because then again, I know myself, I know my capabilities, I know the things that I can and the things that I cannot do. Do you get? So finding the right, because then again, you're in the university, you need, you like you said, human beings are social beings. The moment you stop being social, for some people, it could lead to a mental breakdown. Do you understand? So they always need their circle, they always need, but then again, you have to be very conscious to have people who have the same goals as you, not friends who will put you down. Because then again, if you have a friend that's always putting you down, your self-doubt will increase. Do you understand? Your self-doubt, your imposter syndrome, even depression will increase, because then again, the person will always make you feel less of yourself and you'd be struggling with, finding a balance. Am I good, or do you get? Social media is basically people's highlights.
Yeah.
The highlights of their lives. Nobody's going to post when they're having a bad time. Nobody's going to post when they're crying. Nobody's going to post when they've lost something or when they have misbehaved. Do you get? So you using social media to judge yourself, for me, is crazy. I'm somebody that, I remember when I started using Facebook, I used to be very active on Facebook. And after a while, I stopped. And people thought maybe there was a problem. And my friends would be like, "Ah, what's up? We've not seen you active on Facebook." That was like when I was in uni. And I'm like, nothing. And I'm very grateful for that time, because I realized that I unconsciously weaned myself off of social media. Do you get? So the time that I have to be on social media, because then again, you don't have what you do, you're a student and all that stuff. But I unconsciously weaned myself off of that, and I realized that it helped me, because I'm also somebody, I really don't care about social media validation. I could post something and I'll have one like, and I don't care. But I know that there are people that if they post something and they have one like, they will delete that post and repost it again. Or I've even seen people who get mad at their friends and family for not liking their posts. For real. There are people like that.
Yeah.
Post something and be like, I posted something, why didn't you like it?
I don't like that type of me. I will, till the day I freaking fall down, I will only like content I like. If you be my whatever, I'm only liking the content if I genuinely like what you're doing. And if you follow me, I want me to follow you back so we can be. No, if I don't like what you're posting, I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to like, because that's just completely superficial. It just feels fake, and it also stops.
No, but I feel like if you have friends, you should follow your friends back.
Of course, they are my friends, but those are my friends. And even my friends, so the content they post, I like it. I'm interested in it. Not just being my friends, but when someone is constantly trying to disturb me to engage in this thing, it's like, are you doing the social media because you're trying to grow, or because you want the people in your life to come and be validating the fact that you're posting? That social media thing. If I want anyone to follow me or like my content or comment, I don't share my TikTok page to my Instagram. I don't share it to my WhatsApp. How people find me is that maybe someone else has posted me that they've seen, and they'll be like, Mintabo, you post on TikTok. that's sure and fine and dandy, but I really believe in earning it. It's a show. It makes it easier for me to know what I'm doing is good or how I'm improving, because there are random strangers I've never seen me before that are just being interested. So when you do that, you give yourself room to actually make good content. Because if nobody is engaging, if strangers aren't engaging, then something is wrong. You have to change it. And they're not engaging, then you change it again, change it again. When you make content and you're not asking people, asking your friends, like, comments, do this, you're stifling yourself in terms of, like, you may not be able to open your eyes to see that this is not performing well, that all these comments are literally my friends. You understand? You see, oh, I have a lot of comments, but you don't reason that these are just my friends. Other people don't find this interesting or nice or cool. They are just here out of courtesy or pity.
Thank you so much, Mehitabel, for coming. This was a good conversation.
I had fun.
And I hope to have you back again.
Okay, I hope to be back again.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe to this channel so that you can get to see content like this every time we post. See you on our next episode. Bye.
Bye.